Hey everybody, Nathaniel Bungie here for TechSession. Today bringing you the unboxing and review of the KP Duffle Bag. Now if you don't remember from previous videos, KP stands for Keep Pursuing, and they make a lot of durable bags, so this durable duffel bag is indeed no exception. Now this bag has been on the market for a little while. They just had some changes at KP and basically forgot to send it out to me, but that's quite alright. So we'll start with the unboxing. We have the standard protective bag included with every single KP product. You can always use this for things other than protecting your duffel bag if you're me or somebody else who cares to do that. Right here you can see we do have our first look at the KP duffel bag, a nice black and blue color scheme on this bag. KP is kind of known for having like a neutral outside and then a nice pop of color on the inside, and you get that here. And there's some things that they have stored inside the duffel bag during shipping, which we're going to go ahead and pull out now. So what we're going to do here is just simply lift up the flap, of course, and then we agreed with the inside of the bag and its contents. First and foremost, we have the Dopp kit. This is made of the same material as the outside of the bag, and essentially what it does is holds all your toiletries nice and safely and separately from the contents of the rest of your bag. That way, in case it were to leak, for example, you'd not have all your clothes and stuff ruined. We do have a nice tab on there as well if you wanted to hang that somewhere, and a nice sturdy zipper pull which is going to keep the contents in and the contents of your bag out. They include a couple bottles which fit in this bag very nicely, and that's a good thing to see because a lot of people don't have their own travel bottles. Some of these are small and some of them are large, come in different kinds such as a spray bottle or a squeeze bottle, so you can put in what you need to put in. We also have a nice mesh pocket on the side. This has a zipper on there, and this can hold things such as razors or your toothbrush if you can get them to fit. And then on this side again we have the little elastic pouches where your bottles are going to be stored. Now if we keep digging into the bag, we find this thank you card right here, and it has a coupon code on it. And this coupon code is expired as of a few days ago, so of course you can't go ahead and use it if you'd like to, but you can go ahead, pause that and read it for yourself if you'd like. And then on the back side we have a type of Keep Pursuing branding that I have actually never seen before. Of course you have their signature orange color and it looks really nice. Now there is still more in the package. First of those things is the strap included, which will go over your back if you don't want to carry it with the handles. It's that same seatbelt grade material we found in the KP sling bag, and just like last time you also have the nice pad in the middle. And then on the ends, of course, we have the same exact clasps as last time too, made of metal, close and open the same way. They really probably are the same exact thing, just recycled to be used in the KP duffel. Again, this pad on the middle, it's the same like gel memory foam type of thing that we had before. It actually feels really good on the hand and just as good on the shoulder. Now one thing to note, unlike on the KP sling bag, this pad cannot be removed, which is kind of a bummer, but really on a duffel bag, it doesn't need to be super versatile. It just needs to work for you when you need it to work for you. And the final thing we find in the package here is this little silver bag. Looks just like the one you'd find covering the KP sling bag during shipping, except this one is built to hold your shoes. More on that later. Tucked away on this side of the bag, we find a little card. This is kind of like the one on the sling once again, and this basically is their brand. It'll show, you know, KP on this little like removable, readjustable string, and then on the back, after you get past their slogan, you will find that they have some details about the product itself. Pause it and read it for yourself if you'd like. Now if you're anything like me at this point, you're probably noticing that this bag has a lot of room inside, and it really does, and this is helped out too by the pockets you'll find on the side. And this one happens to have a secret pocket, just like the sling bag. So if we lift up the seam of the zipper, we have a little bit of Velcro, and inside of there you can store some of your valuables. Now part of the reason that this bag has so many pockets is because KP likes to be a versatile, you know, out and about type of brand. They want you to have things, you know, like work when you need them to work, and they need to be there when you need them to be there. Essentially, what KP goes for is convenience and high quality. And you can see based on the mesh on this side of the bag as well, they are really hitting that mark. Up here you have a little, you know, kind of foam compartment like we had on the sling bag in the phone compartment, but this one's huge. And then on this side we have one of the top handles. These are made of that seatbelt grade material, but it's kind of folded over for comfort. And we have these two metal rivets down here, and these are real metal in case you're wondering. Travel over to this side of the bag and you'll find what KP calls the utility hatch. This essentially has a little hook for your keys. It has the loop for the shoulder strap up nearby it. And then it has a couple pouches where you might want to put some pens, some phones, you know, maybe a pack of gum or cigarettes, whatever you're into. And that's stored on the side under one of the nice high quality KP zippers. One of the things that gives this bag its style is this nice angular design you can see here, and conveniently located on the side is a spot which is about the perfect size for a water bottle. So you could just stick it right in there, zip it up, and be on your way. You also have this little seam up here, but it's not just a seam. If you go in the middle, you have a little metallic magnet snap type of thing. Opens up so you can get a couple inches of storage there under that seam. And then over here on this side, you also have a little bit more storage. And this one just continues the seam. There's not actually a pocket. On the side of the bag opposite the utility hatch, you'll find a compartment which is where your shoes go. You see you have these two metal vents on the front so your shoes don't get musty and stale. And then up above that again is the shoulder strap clip. You have plenty of room inside here. I can get up to my elbow with my hands, so even if you're some big dude who wears size 30 shoes, if they even make those, you should be able to hold them just fine, no problem. And again, you have those high quality KP zippers to keep your nice shoes inside. On the other side of the bag, once again, we have a spot for a water bottle or some other item. You're probably not going to want 2 water bottles unless you're going to the gym, which is why this could be also the perfect gym bag if you don't want it to be a travel bag. Then down here we have the KP tag. This is a little bit of just branding, you know, really subtle. It's nice to see KP all the time. They don't go all out on branding. You kind of have to look for it, but it's still there. On the bottom of the bag as well, you have a little bit of a different material. This is more of like a nylon cloth material, I don't know. Then you have these 4 feet on the bottom to protect the bag when you set it down. Now if you hop back into the inside of the bag, you'll find the little owner's tag, which KP has in every single product they make. It's this nice little material, of course, where you can write that you're the owner of the bag. Shoe compartment is nice too. It collapses when you're not using it. It's just a little bag. Again, this will protect the contents of the inside of the duffel from, you know, leaks of mud or whatever you're stepping in on your shoes. Another nice thing here is KP includes 2 zipper pulls, so it's even easier to get inside of your bag no matter what side of the bag you're actually on. Of course, you know, they both do their job. They protect your bag very nicely along these strong and waterproof KP zippers. Now, you might be wondering what this loop is, and it's actually made to secure your zipper. You just stick your zipper pull through the hole, and it'll prevent anybody from opening it up to steal it, which is a very nice anti-theft measure on this bag. And we do have these nice handles here as well. These have some little magnetic snaps in the top, and really you just, you know, put your handle in there and close it, and magnetism takes over, and that's really about all I can say. KP does do a good job at making things easy and different, though you won't find much Velcro on this bag at all, apart from the inside where the Dopp kit is attached. Now if you own the KP sling bag, you might be interested in knowing exactly how the duffel compares. This material found on the sling bag, the PU leather, is very similar to the outside of the KP duffel. The KP duffel is just a little bit smoother. That might be because I haven't worn it in yet to give it any wrinkles or creases, but it is something to note. And you can see too, the KP sling has a nice surprise when you open it, the sky blue color. KP duffel has the same thing, although it's a bit darker shade of blue than the sling. So if you're trying to color coordinate, you're not really going to get super close with it. Have a nice grid pattern as well in the sling bag. Doesn't show up too well on camera. On the other hand, you have the wave pattern on the duffel. You can get the sling in the wave pattern. I just don't know if you can get the duffel in the grid pattern. We have these nice high quality zipper pulls on here, as I already mentioned. And these actually are very similar to the KP sling bag, if not the same exact thing. When you match them up next to each other, they're the same exact size and design, so I wouldn't doubt it if KP just stuck with one zipper for all their products, and it's not a bad idea, as it's perfectly fine. Even down to the actual zippers themselves, they're the same thing as a sling bag, kind of sealed off, waterproof, or at least water resistant design. I would expect to see this in their backpack, which they're releasing later this year, so when I take a look at that, don't be surprised to see it. We have the same exact buckle as the sling as well, the little rubber O-ring inside of the metal clip, which will hold your strap on very nicely, and this is going to prevent a lot of the noise you'd get if it was just metal on metal. Now is also a great time to compare the actual clasps themselves. They're the same exact design as you'd find on the sling bag, where you just push in the tab and the whole entire clip opens. A very easy design to use, just slides right over the O-ring and latches right on. Even the pads on the straps, they feel exactly the same memory foam gel type of material, which is ultra comfortable. However, notice that on the duffel, you don't have a Velcro place to open it like on the sling. meaning on the sling, if you wanted to take off the pad, you could do so at your own will, but on the duffel, you're stuck with the pad on the strap. Although, I will note, it doesn't move around like it did on the sling as freely. With the included Dopp kit comes a bunch of bottles. Here's a little bit more details on all of them. The little like hand sanitizer soap type of bottle here, you might put lotion in it. It's kind of nice. It has a little clip they include to prevent the top of it from coming down and squirting anything inside of the Dopp kit when you don't want it to. You also have a spray bottle here. Pull off the cap and you know it sprays. I don't know what you'd really put in there though, because you can't really open up like a pressurized can of hairspray and put it in there. Maybe dump in some aftershave if you had it. I don't know. Have another size of this bottle as well. And then if you move on, we have more of these shampoo body wash type of bottles, maybe a lotion bottle. These have the type of top where you just push down on it and it pops open. And these are a fairly soft plastic too, so you can go ahead and squeeze it out. You don't need to be struggling with that at all. And again, we do have a second one of those in a different size. Now, like I always say, KP puts a lot of thought into things, and that's why they included this little tiny funnel here. What this is going to be used for is when you screw off the top of one of your bottles, just stick the funnel in the mouth. You should be able to just pour everything inside, no problem. Just a quick look on the bottom of each bottle doesn't yield much, no recycling symbols, BPA free, anything like that, so I'm not entirely sure on that note. Now when it comes to the Dopp kit and stuff, it's not entirely perfect. KP does include all those bottles that we went over, but you're only able to fit 3 inside at one time in the mesh pockets. There's simply no room for any of the other ones. I'd imagine they did this on purpose because you don't really need 2 sizes of the same kind of bottle, but if you do, you can always throw it in the zippered pouch or on the inside. And of course, if it were to leak, again, you have these nice zippers on here which are going to keep it protected from the rest of the bag. In case you were wondering about the Velcro here, KP, again, they think of everything. They have a little tiny strip of Velcro, as I already mentioned, in there. You just stick the Dopp kit to it with all your full components and they will stay in their place without shifting all over your bag. It'll give you more room to pack everything without everything getting ruined. So of course we have to take out some shoes and test out the bag. Now these are brand new shoes, so I'm not going to bother to grab the little silver bag for now, but we just go ahead and stick them right in the bag. Absolutely no problems here. They fit right in with plenty of room to spare. I believe I'm like a size 11 or something offhand, so I still have at least 3 or 4 inches next to the flap. So no matter how big your feet are, if you're Shaq or if you're like Kevin Hart, you're going to have no problem fitting your shoes in here. And hey, if you are Shaq watching this video, those vents in there are going to keep your bag from getting smelly. They're just going to let your shoes breathe as much as they need to. And even if you're not Shaq, you know, you might not want sweat in your bag. You can see here we do have a lot of clearance in the bag too, and with that natural angle that a shoe kind of takes, you still have plenty of room above them. You're not losing out on that at all. Just for reference, I did grab that shiny bag and throw the shoes in there, and I found out another reason you might want to use the bag. It slides in and out very easily with the bag on compared to with the bag off, and protects them a little bit more. When it comes to the strap, I don't think I'll be using it at all times, so the zippered pocket here might just hold it quite nicely out of the way. Because if I had it clipped on, which I totally could do, it'd probably get annoying dangling all over and getting caught on things. I know I could just put it on, but I might not want to. Look how nice the bag is without. Taking a quick peek at the utility hatch found over here, we have the little strap here, and what this is perfect for is your keys. You're not going to want to have them just sitting loose in the bag, so if you take off from your keychain, the key rings are going to fit right onto the key ring included in the duffel bag. One thing I found a little bit disappointing is the keys don't directly clip in, but once you get them on, they do clip out of the bag, so it's not such a pain in the butt. You could even leave that little extension part, the little clip, always attached to your keys, I guess, so when you go to the gym or go to the airport or whatever, just clip them on and clip them off without having to mess around with the keychain at the worst possible time. Furthermore, this utility hatch has a couple of other compartments, so you don't need to be stuck with just your keys. You have another little slot here. Let's just try to stick a Mophie juice pack case in there, and that fits no problem. So you could even put a third phone in here, so you could be Kevin Gates plus your wife, or Kevin Gates plus your husband, whatever route you wanted to roll that day. And then you have a little bit of a smaller pouch there. Would not fit a phone, but you could maybe put like a walkie-talkie in there, or a candy bar, who knows. And what's this, a pouch in the back that can fit your phone? Maybe double Kevin Gates time. Let's say this is your fencing or your sword fighting bag. The pen is mightier than the sword, so you could use that little pen compartment there and stick your pen in there and be off to win everything you try. Something I found interesting with this bag is these little zipper lock loop things are not found on the utility hatch. Kinda weird considering that's where they expect you to put your keys and such other quick access valuables such as that. But they probably have a reason for it. And then I started to wonder, Nathaniel, could you fit a laptop in that upper compartment? Let's find out. I have an 11-inch MacBook Air right here just for insane reference, as you should know me for by now. And then, of course, slide your laptop right in. I don't think KP intended for this to be the use case of that compartment, but you know what? It looks like the MacBook fits. Let's just secure it and try closing the bag. Well, so far so good, just a little corner of it sticking out, but if we push that down, kind of do a little bit of forcing, what do you know, the bag closes. Of course, it's not really going to protect it the best since it's on the top of the bag. All the force is going to push down on it from impact, so you might not want to use it like that, but you certainly could. More practical use might be to put a tablet in there, such as an iPad, so I grabbed one here for reference once again. That should fit a lot better in there, taking up less room, putting less stress on the bag, and it's probably more of what KP would expect you to use this pouch for. You still have a little bit of impact on there, but it's not such a wide surface area, so there should be a little bit less chance of it actually getting hit in the first place. Without a pack test, I can't really call this a bag review, can I? No, so that's exactly what I'm going to do for you guys today. So as I mentioned earlier, on the side we have these shallow little compartments, and just for reference we'll stick a phone case in there, and that can go in all the way on the deepest side of the bag's angle, which is actually really nice. On the middle, you're not really going to be able to fit the huge stuff in there because it's a shallow part, but if you go over the other side of the bag, again we have the same exact deep compartment, kind of hard to find at first when you're flipping the bag around, but that can fit a large 20,000 milliamp hour zero lemon solar juice battery pack, no problem. So what I'm trying to tell you is if you're going to go all out Kevin Gates with 2 phones on people, iPhone, Android maybe, you're going to have absolutely no problems doing so. Now since you're watching this video on a tech channel, what better way to test out another pouch than to use some more tech? Right here I have 2 SSDs from Crucial. Those are going to stick out a little bit on the side, and admittedly the only reason I grabbed them is because that's all I could really find that might fit. Even if you place them sideways though, they don't fit down all the way, partly because the bag's angle elevates them a bit, and partly because that snap in the middle really is kind of obstructed by the height. So you're going to have to put some pretty shallow stuff in there if you want it to work out. But for now, for the sake of this video, I'll just put the SSDs in facing up. Oh, speak of the devil, I found the enclosure for one of the SSDs, Sabrent, in case you're wondering. And this will also fit inside this side of the bag, sticking up of course because it's basically SSD sized, so we won't use that. We'll use instead the little case that comes with the Anker Powerline Plus micro USB cable, highly recommended by the way. And this I'm just going to stick in there laying down, and with a little bit of force and some smushing of the case, I can eventually get it to work out, no problem, and you really can't even tell that it's in there. I referenced this pocket earlier on as something you could put like a water bottle in, so we're going to do just that. Slide our water bottle right in there, and it actually fits perfectly. 16.9 ounce water bottle, in case you're wondering. Just for fun, let's pack the KP sling bag in there for the pack test. One thing to note is the angle of the sling follows the angle of the duffel very nicely. Might be on purpose, maybe not. Let's continue packing. Grab some WD-40 because you never know when you might need to bust a nut. You also got some screws, some bolts in there randomly, I, at this point, don't know what job you would have if you were needing all these things, but let's just continue packing. Really can't leave home either without your iFixit Protect toolkit, I guess, so we'll throw that in the bag just so we have something else to put in there. And then I guess some headphones, these are the Axle IDs in case you were wondering. Those kind of sit nicely in that corner there. Keep those cords managed, as you can see right there. And then we'll take my nutsack because I don't leave home without my nutsack, and that actually, surprisingly, fits in the duffel bag as well. Now at this point, we're pretty full. You can see the bag does close, but we're nearing the limit. Or are we? Before I get too far in this video, I do need to point out that there is a secret pouch in this bag, much like the sling bag. Just open up the zipper inside the bag, and if you lift up the seam of the zipper itself, you have a Velcro pocket. As you can tell from this video, it's actually very hard to see and find unless you know what you're looking for. Just pull up the zipper, which is even counterintuitive. You're able to stick stuff in there. Just for reference, an example here, I have a couple business cards. It's a pretty cool business here in Des Moines. Go ahead and check it out if you're in the area. They got consignments and stuff. So throw these inside the pouch. I don't really know why you'd want to protect business cards, but whatever contraband you're carrying will fit right inside the bag. Now once again, you can tell it's very hard to find that pouch, so whether you're putting business cards in there as I was, or drugs, or something else that you might not want to tell people about or show them, it will be definitely protected in the secret pouch. Okay, back to the pack test. You can see I've shifted my nutsack out of the way, just because I have more room that way and it still works. So let's just throw some paper inserts from a shoebox in there, because why the heck not? Or maybe even your box that your microphone came in. Who knows what the heck you're doing on your business trips. But still, that somehow fits in the KP duffel bag without any problems. Or even some random chunks of styrofoam that you found in a package that you received this morning. You can get one of those in there, two of those in there. How about three of them? No problem. Or maybe even a fourth if you happen to find yet another one sitting in the corner that you forgot to take out to recycling that morning. Not an issue for the KP duffel bag. It will fit everything and more. When I say everything, I'm not forgetting about you gamers either, as Jenga's got you covered. Got a full stack fitting right here in the KP duffel bag. And through the magic of editing, I already have Jenga in there, and I am starting to zip up the bag. And there's a lot of stuff in there, as you saw me put in, and guess what? The KP duffel bag still closes no problem. It's got your back. Can't throw anything at it that it can't handle. Except, well, maybe like your car or something, but that's beyond the story. What I find funny is, look how normal the bag looks after having all that stuff in it. Time to unpack the bag. Let's get to it. And cut. My camera went down right in the middle of that time lapse, so I basically just have this aftermath shot to show you here. You can see we have a lot of stuff that fit in that bag. Of course, when you're using it, you're not going to put things like WD-40 microphone boxes, chunks of styrofoam, a Jenga game in there, you know. But you're going to put some of the other stuff, like water bottles and shoes and your Dopp kit, maybe your phone or a couple cords. This gives you a nice overview of how much stuff you can actually fit in here. And if it's just an overnight bag or a gym bag, some clothes will fit no problem, considering we got things in here that are absolutely ridiculous, like 2 other bags. Now, one point of purely aesthetic concern are these 2 metal rivets right here. I'm concerned that by your hand touching them all the time, the finish might wear off if that is a finish, or they'll tarnish if that's the type of metal they are. Not too sure. I really hope you know how to do this already, because if not, you're going to need to watch some different videos besides this one. But let's attach the straps to the bag. They just push on there, really easy to do, nothing complicated. And of course, we loop it over the top of the bag. And then on the other side of the bag, we have the second clip, which is right above the utility hatch. Just snap it on and you're good to go with your strap. Time to model the bag for you guys. Right here you have a great look at one side of the bag. You see the angular design, we have the rear with the shoes, and then the front. And now since I'm wearing the strap, that means I can also put it over my shoulder, kind of like the KP sling bag. If I bounce around, I don't really feel too much stress either. It's absorbing this very nicely somehow. It's nothing like the new KP0G backpack, which is going to absorb absolutely all the stress, but it still does a little bit. It's nice too, you can just swing it around and grab your phone or whatever you have on the side pocket due to the location and easy access to these pockets. You also have very easy access to your water bottle if you get thirsty while you're walking, while you're traveling, whatever you're doing. And it's really easy to put back too with one hand, just put it in there and zip it shut. Same goes for your utility hatch too, just swing the bag around and you got one-handed access to it. Just zip it open and boom. You got your phones, however many you have, your pen, your candy, whatever you decided to put in that pouch. So, you know, this is a pretty durable bag, of course, as most from KP are. So, if you're, you know, down here, getting out your water bottle, you know, crack it open to try some, and then, oh no, I spilled all over my KP bag. Guess what? No big deal. The only thing you got to deal with is, in my case, a wet carpet and a zipper that I forgot to close. But as you can see here, it literally just runs right off the bag. If I had a towel, it would dry no problem. And something to note here as well is these seams, if you can see, are these kind of closed seams. So if I concentrate the water on those, like that, no big deal. It doesn't get in the bag. All you do is just come up to your bag with your towel and just dry it right off. Absolutely no problem at all. Just make sure you get in the seams, of course, if any water happened to pool there for some reason, because if it did, you might be letting a little tiny bit inside the bag. So then if you come around to open up your KP duffel bag after, your rainstorm or whatever, absolutely nothing inside. All my paper that I put here to test with is dry. It's completely dry inside the seam. I don't know if you're able to see that, but this is completely bone dry. Shout out to KP. If you want to check out the link down below, you can find a couple other colors that this bag comes in, so you can suit it for yourself in your own style if you decide to pick it up, which I totally would if I were you. It's a pretty good price and a very good bag. I'll also leave a link down below to their backpack campaign on Kickstarter. And that's also something I'm going to try to get my hands on. It looks really, really cool, as always. So make sure you leave a like down on this video, and leave a comment as well. Tell me what the craziest thing I packed in my bag was. Thanks to KP for sending this bag out to me for review. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Until next time, this is Nathaniel Bungie from TechSession, and I'll see you later.